Marketing. Today's book of the day. Market like you mean it. Engage customers. Create brand believers, not Justin Bieber. And gain fans for everything you sell. By Lautenslager. That is not an easy name. You know, I'll try to read a book a day, so I was finishing this up before I head to bed. And it's a pretty fascinating book. Whatever you want to do, you got to be good at marketing. Marketing is by far the least appreciated, although people do kind of get it, but they don't get how important marketing is. If you don't believe me, look at like shows like Shark Tank. Everybody's all about the idea. It's like the idea. I need to raise capital and this stuff. And I go into business completely backwards. I'm more like, when I have an idea, I try to have a simultaneous thought. Is this thing marketable? Because we call it CPA. For those of us who know about marketing, maybe a little more advanced, CPA is cost per acquisition of a customer. So you could have the greatest idea ever. You're like in a patent, I don't know, a self-driving car. But if the cost to get a person to switch from their gas-powered car to your and their car they drive themselves to your self-powered car is going to cost $50,000, and you can only sell the car for $40,000, you're dead in the water before you even launch the business. And so your cost of CPA is directly related to your scale out marketing. It's related to other factors too, like the zeitgeist of the world we live in, the amount of pragmatists versus people who are early adopters and so on. But that's for another more advanced conversation. What I want to talk about today is 3 little points in this book that might be helpful to you. So the first one, marketing truth. Marketing is all about emotional triggers. And I think that when we tend to do our marketing, what we like to do is focus on logical triggers. The problem with that is that logic only works on about 10% of people. So if you come and focus on logical triggers like, oh, this thing will save you, 18% on your gas bill, or if you're selling a fitness product, this product you will lose 3.7% more body fat than any other diet around, or whatever you're selling. You're selling to logic, and in the human brain, it's divided up. And I've got a PhD who works for me, runs one of my companies. It's a molecular neuroscientist, Dr. Herman Garcia Fresco, and he says, you got the brainstem, and you got the medulla, and you have the pons, and you have the amygdala, and you have the cerebellum, and you have the median prefrontal cortex, MPFC, and all these parts of the brain, and not that much of it's logical. The part we use, the brainstem, the primitive brain, the pons, the medulla, cerebellum, and stuff like that, this part's just reacting, man. And we all know how people are. Just get in traffic. People ain't using logic. They're going from, you ever see I heard this comedian, he's like, man, people, it cracked me up. He goes, what's wrong with drivers in LA? He goes, do people think it's acceptable to be in the fast lane and just get off? Switch 5 lanes in one pass? Well, my answer to him would be like, it doesn't make logical sense because they're about to kill themselves and everybody else on the freeway, but their primitive brain is reacting to an emotional trigger of, I need to get off. Panic, fight or flight. So they do that. And that's the same thing in your marketing. So if you're marketing too logically, now in some of the advanced marketing stuff that I talk about, I got this program called Accelerator and stuff, a home study course where I get really intense on marketing. There's nuances and ways to do logical marketing, which will increase your closing rate beyond just doing emotional. But this is more of a basic book, and this video I'm talking here is going to be a little more basic. So when all else fails, go more primitive with your marketing. I'll just put it that simple. That's why fast food places just basically put a burger, and they show you this burger with fries steaming. And one of my friends was like, we went to I forget where we went, like In-N-Out was pretty popular in California. And he goes in, and they brought the food out. Maybe it wasn't In-N-Out, it was like Wendy's or something. He looks at it, he's like, no, I want that burger. Up there, the one you're emotionally showing me on the menu. Not this one that's like half deflated, the lettuce doesn't look as crisp. But they know how to get you in their marketing, boy. They have whole experts that lay out the food. in such a way that your emotional triggers are just bam, bam, bam. When it comes to real estate, they say it's not about the specs on the house. It's not about this house is 3,444 square feet. They tell you to do stuff like stage the house, which means put furniture in it. Don't try to sell an empty house because the emotional triggers aren't there. People can't imagine, oh, that's where Johnny and Susie are going to sit, and that's where my room, and oh, my bed is going to look so nice. They can't do the logic and go, okay, logically I could fill this house up. They can't visualize that and forecast it. They need you as the quote-unquote marketer, the person selling the house, to hit those emotional triggers. So that's number one in this book. Number two. Where was my number two? Okay, marketing truth. It kind of divides this pages up into marketing truth. I thought this one was good. Taking big risks gets attention. Let's think about some people who took risks on the internet. Me. I get flack because I had a Lamborghini commercial. You know, it was a little risky. People get mad when people show conspicuous consumption. But I'm not that materialistic, even though people think I am. I live with no electricity for 2.5. I live with no toilet, just an outhouse or a bucket for 5 years on farms in the Amish. So can't be the most materialistic guy in town. But I did put a Lamborghini video up, which is risky. A lot of people aren't going to do that. Another guy, maybe, well, not maybe, but definitely a better marketer than me, Richard Branson. What did Richard Branson do? Richard Branson jumped out of buildings. He wore a woman's wedding dress. All this PR where he took those risks. So if you're just this conservative person going to advertise, you know, if you're not careful, you're going to be relegated to the middle. And the middle of the marketing pack is the unnoticed. So think hard on that. I'm just trying to get tired, so I'm going to go quicker with these points. Marketing, what was the third one that I liked? Ding dong dong. There's a lot of good ones in here. It's a good little book. I'll put a link here somewhere. If you buy the book from the link, I will make about 5 cents. Sometimes people are like, I know how that guy makes his money. He recommends books. And he puts Amazon affiliate links. The main reason I put Amazon affiliate links is because I can actually track then what books I recommend people like. It's not for the money. Can't buy a Lamborghini with 5 cent commissions from Amazon. But I will put a link. Or if you don't want me to make my 5 cents, just go to Amazon. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but sometimes people are ridiculous. Okay, marketing truth. Memory works in marketing, and you can help encourage it in your prospects so they recall your brand and your messaging. So you want to be memorable, and that can mean your domain name. That can be your logo. You know what I try to do? I'll tell you a little trick. I don't tell all my tricks, but I'll tell you a trick. You want to pick a name for your product or company that people will be like, I think I've heard of that company before. I've started multiple companies like that. That's how I know I got a memorable name, because you want, to go viral, people have to be out with their friends and be like, yo, there was this blankety blank product that I heard. You should check it out. And if it's too complicated, if it's, called onomatopoeia products or something, they're not going to be able to remember it when they're drinking some glasses of wine with their friend. But if the name's Nike or Dairy Queen, they're like, DQ or whatever. And that's why brands are very intelligent these days in terms of how they position themselves. Just simple things, how many syllables there are, the consonants versus the vowels, how harsh it sounds. But if you look at most of these brands that are out there, now there's a few exceptions to this, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the actor, was told he'll never be popular because no one can pronounce his name, but it actually is a memorable name. Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not that hard to say. And you say it once, you see one of his movies, you see, his action stuff, you see him killing people in whatever, Terminator, and you're like, I can remember Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it doesn't always have to be very simple, although simplicity does help. There are exceptions to the rule. So those are 3 little tips before I go to bed. Book of the day. Make sure you subscribe, because I'm telling you, should be charging for these videos. Sometimes people are like, why do you charge for your other stuff, Tai? 67 step accelerator. Because I'm like, I give a lot of shit away free. So whenever people hate on you in life and say, why aren't you doing more for me? Just ask them, well, why don't you do more for me? It's not like I wake up every day and there's stacks of free stuff from other people. So free video. Hopefully add some value to your life. I do these as diaries to myself. Warren Buffett says when you read a book, you should write a 1 page on what you read. I've always found I suck at diaries, so these video diaries force me to remember what I read. And so maybe they offer a little value for you too. I got some paid stuff. I got some free stuff. You can buy this book. I don't. It's kind of old school book, but it's pretty cool. This picture of Al Landsthager in the back, the author, looks like it was taken in 1964. So the book been around a while. Nothing wrong with that. Old school can be good school. Old school can be good school, man. What year was this book written? Entrepreneur Press. It was written, first draft, if anybody cares, was in, I can't find it. I don't know. Anyway, they put it out, so check it out. Subscribe if you want some more free stuff. If you want some more badass stuff, it's a little more in-depth or it takes some time, check it out. 67-step accelerator, business builder, cool stuff. So join the Knowledge Society. That's what this is all about, man. Knowledge Society. We change the world, you and me. We don't need everybody else. Me and you do it. We revolutionize our own minds using the teachings of the smartest people in the world, cutting edge mentors, whether it be in books, in person, in courses, in conferences, wherever we can find them, we learn. And the next thing you know, like I think it was Nietzsche that said, let everyone sweep their own front porch and the whole world will be clean. The issues of gun control and global warming and it was poverty and homelessness and domestic abuse and all this, they go away slowly but surely as we all get a little wiser, a little more knowledgeable, a little sharper, a little more humble to listen. So, night, it's late here, I'm tired, long day.